What is up, guys? My name is Ray and welcome to another Honkai tutorial video. In today's video, I want to talk about my top 5 best or top characters in the game currently for patch 1.4. Also looking into a future perspective, long-term perspective. Every once in a while, I will do this kind of video. And before we hop into the topic of the video today, I just want to point you guys again to my YouTube short section. I'll put out a video there every day. So definitely make sure to check that out and support me. Also, with my 1,000 subscriber goal, I did manage to open up my Discord server. Shoutouts to Yolo Di Gacha for helping me out with that. The server is currently still in progress, but it is already free to join for everyone. The link for the Discord server is in the description down below. So feel free to join and let's build a community there, and yeah, talk to each other. We can talk about the game. We can also talk about other gacha games. It's really free there, and yeah, let's get back into the topic of today's unit. So my top 5 units is a very subjective theme here, because it is different from a tier list, which I already did do last week. Make sure to check out that video. Because in the tier list, we have these categories, which we in the top 5 units, we don't have. So I'll try to evaluate units just from what they are doing and how good they're doing their job in the game. And then I did give them a placement. And yeah, these are like, I think, my personal top 5 units. If you don't agree with that, let me know it in the comment section down below. It is my subjective opinion. And yeah. Let's hop in with the honorable mentions. We have 2 honorable mentions here that didn't make it into the top 5. And this is Bronya and it is Tingyan. Why specifically those 2? Of course, they're insane units. Yeah, don't question me. And Bronya is my favorite unit alongside with Kafka. But I have to be, even though it is my subjective opinion, I have to be as objective as possible with my decision on that. And I think that these 2... they don't belong to the top 5 because they are like not unique enough, and they are also likely to be power crept by the next 5-star harmony character that comes out. I don't want to say that they will get worse as soon as a new harmony characters will be released. They will still be insane units. They will still be top tier. I'm pretty sure about that. But there will be a unit that is better and that could be more unique. Like, at the end, both of these units, they do buff damage, even though they're doing it in a different way. But at the end, you have an alternative to those 2 units, right? So if you have Bronya, your alternative is Tingyan. And if you have Tingyan, your alternative is Bronya. Which was like, at the end, the edge that didn't give them the top 5 spot, but still honorable mentions. Yes? All right. Okay, now let's get into number 5 then. My number 5 is Danhang EMB Lun. This unit is a little bit controversial because I actually don't think that he will make it here that long, even though I said that this tier list is should be like for a long-term video that should hold for a longer time, because I will just do this once every while, like every 2 to 3 patches maybe. And I think that EMB Lun will hold up those 2 to 3 patches. I didn't thought that he will be like that insane, because I think that bringing him into the game and changing the content around him to sell this unit better makes this unit really, really oppressive. I didn't thought that this unit will be so much stronger than all the current DPS releases that we had so far, because I really have to say that in terms of power level, he is way stronger than the units that were released before. I'm talking about Sealy, Qingyuan, Kafka, Blade. I think like in terms of damage, he is on a way another level. Of course, he has his caveats. He has his disadvantages. He eats up a lot of skill points. He is very reliant on a certain team comp to fix this problem. You likely want to have his light cone or heavily invest in this. And yeah, you also want to heavily build him and evolve his team always around him. But the thing that made me give him the number 5 spot was that he is exceptionally good in the job that he is doing. His job is doing damage. And he is the best in his category in that. I think in terms of raw damage, EMB Lun is still the best unit in the game. And just because of that fact, even though he has the other disadvantages, just because he is like exceptionally good in that job, was my decision to give him the number 5 spot. Yes. Number 4 is Silverwolf, in my opinion. Yeah, currently I honestly have to say that Bronya and Tingyun are not that worse compared to Silverwolf. Like, they're all three like on a certain level, because it really depends on the team comp that you're using. But what I notice currently is that the relevance of Bronya, like compared to the beginning of the game, gets a little bit lower, because Tingyun gets more relevant while Bronya gets a little bit less relevant, while still being both top tier units. But Silverwolf, since she came out, become even more relevant with every patch. And that's the reason why I gave her the number 4 spot. I already thought that she is very good at the beginning when she came out, but she now gets better with every patch. And the mechanic that I didn't like, that I dislike at the beginning, was that her weakness application was random. But still, as it is random, it gives her the unique touch. Of course, her damage shred and her defense shred and all her debuff capabilities are all very well. But there are other units that also can debuff the enemies. Talking about Pella and Weld, they also have the ability to do so. Of course, they are not as good as Silverwolf in that category, but they can do it. But what gives Silverwolf the unique touch is that she is able to change the weakness of the enemy. And I think that this is such a great mechanic that makes the unit more future-proof than ever. With every patch, more characters come out that are possible to pair with Silverwolf. And yeah, that's why I think I gave her the number 4 spot. And I also think even in the future that won't change. Silverwolf become even more relevant. And that's why, like, as she's now on the same level as Bronya and Tingyun, one day Silverwolf will still stay there, and Bronya will get down because a new Harmony character comes out. And that's like basically the prediction that I have, why I think that Silverwolf is a little bit more future-proof, while she is already now that good. And that's why I'll give her the number 4 spot. Alright. Now, moving in with number 3. My number 3 is Jinglu, the newest addition to the game. This is the unit that is currently available in the event banner. Jinglu is, I think she's the best DPS in the game. Not by far, but she is the best DPS in the game. She overtaked Sealy, and she overtaked EMB Lun. The reason why I think that she is better than those units is, on the one hand, she can hold up with her damage on the same level as EMB Lun. Of course, I think she is a little weaker than him, in my opinion, but she can hold up on the same level, which is really insane. But she does that without eating the same amount of skill points than EMB Lun. On average, I do believe that Jinglu will only eat up like 0.5 skill points per cycle, if you play her right. She's also not as reliant on her light cone as EMB Lun, even though her light cone is insanely good. And she's very flexible and splashable in team comps, because I think EMB Lun has like basically one team comp, and you can shift like 1 to 2 units, but mostly you want to have like the same units to fix his skill point problem. But Jinglu doesn't have the skill point problem, so you can basically splash her in every team, and you can change around the units. Of course, you want a more likely user of the units that are already good, like Silverwolf, Bronya, Tingyun. But yeah, you have like already 3 options. You can choose between all those 3 options. You can choose even 2 of these options. You can pair with Pella, you can pair with Asta even if you want to, even though Asta is of course worse than the other units that I already mentioned. But I think that because she is that flexible, she doesn't eat up skill points, and she has the same amount of damage. These are 3 points, just in short and summarized, that makes her already a better unit than EMB Lun, in my opinion. And yeah, she's like exceptionally well in every category that she has. She doesn't really have a caveat to me. She, as a bonus effect, of course, she's currently the only ice DPS character. So due to the lack of any other competitor, she will automatically be the best unit in that category. And I think that replacing an ice DPS is very hard. So she is like nearly something to a must pull. I don't want to say she is a must pull, but she's like nearly something to a unit that you would call a must pull, just because of the fact that she does so much, has the right element, and has such a good kit. Yeah, moving in, number 2. My number 2 was kind of hard of the decision, but at the end I decided for Locha to be number 2. Why Locha is number 2? Locha is, I think he's like the most splashable unit ever. I mean, like, something like Jinglu and Danheng is different. They're DPS units. You always want to have a DPS unit, and depending on the content, you want to change the unit that can clear that stage the best. But for a defensive unit like Locha, I always prefer defensive units over DPS units because they have a more longevity, they are more relevant, and they are basically like staples that you want to have like in every team. And that is the case for Locha. I think Locha is such an insane unit. I pulled for him and I didn't regret it at all because I think he is so good. He doesn't eat skill points. He doesn't eat a single skill point. So he is skill point positive. So he eats 0 skill points, and he always regenerates 1 skill point at the minimum. As you make him a little bit faster, he can even regenerate 2 skill points in 1 cycle, because you never want to use his E, because he is passively able to use his heal. You basically just put him into the team, and then you have to do nothing. And that's why I think this unit is so insane. Also, his ultimate is such an insane mechanic. He does so much. He has a cleanse. He even does damage, though, as a healer. He's decently tanky. Of course, he scales with attack, which is a little bit of a disadvantage because most healers scale with HP. But you just put like attack percentage on the main set, and then you put defensive stat like effect resistance, defense percentage, HP percentage on the subsets, and he will get tanky. And now the unit all of a sudden becomes a preservation and a abundance character at the same time, with a cleanse. I mean, like, moving more into the game, I think cleanse becomes more standard on defensive units. I think like literally every defensive unit will get a cleanse in the future, because that was something that other healers were missing at the beginning of the game. But yeah, I think this unit is really, 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 really good. He can even remove a buff from the enemy, so he has basically a debuff capability. So yeah, he is like at least a 2-in-1 character, and that's why he is for me number 2. And now let's talk about the last unit, number 1. And number 1, in my opinion, is Fushan. I do think Fushan is the best unit in the game. Some of you might already seen that Fushan was able to solo clear Swarm Disaster, solo clear like Memory of Chaos, or easily clear it. And yeah, it's like, yeah, I think like that unit is at least 2 roles in 1 unit, maybe 3 roles in 1 unit. She has like, she's of course a preservation character, so she's a tank, but she also has healing capabilities, so she is an abundance character, and she also has harmony capabilities, which makes her, yeah, a buffer. So she's a tank, healer, and a buffer at the same time. Of course, she's not as good as any other healer in that category, but she's still a tank. I mean, her main role is a tank, and she still can heal. But her main role is a tank, and she still can buff. What do I mean by that? I just want to show you that here. She can increase crit rate by 12%. All team members gain the knowledge effect, which increases their respective max HP. So she increases the HP and the crit rate from all characters, which is basically harmony capability. Then her skill distributes 65% damage that your units will receive. So your units will never ever get one-shotted. That's why she sucks up the damage. So she has the tank capability. And where was the heal? Was it this? Take 18% less damage. Here it is. When Fushan's current HP falls to 50% of her max HP or less, HP restore will be triggered to Fushan, restoring by 90% HP. She's currently missing. No, that is not this. Where is the healing? Max HP to all and one count for the restore HP restore effect granted by Fushan's talent. That is her talent. Yeah, it is her talent. Sorry for that. When Fushan's ultimate is used, heals all other allies by an amount equal to 5% of Fushan's max HP plus 133. What is this? Like, she can heal with her talent? She buffs your units? She takes all the damage? And she is tanky, she scales off with HP. I think, like, just already in theory, I thought this unit is the best unit in the game. And in praxis, after her release, it even was, it was certified, basically, just by other videos, just by using her. I have a friend that had her, and I think she's insane. I honestly have to say, I would have pulled for the character if I wouldn't badly miss on a DPS, because as you guys might not know, I'm free to play in this game, and I tried to clear everything free to play, so I have to manage for which units I want to pull, and I badly wanted to pull for Fushan, honestly, but I wasn't able to clear certain contents because I don't have enough damage dealers, because my only damage dealer is Clara currently and QQ. And I'm missing out on that, like, type coverage. And that's why I was basically forced to pull for Jinglu. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I like Jinglu. I wanted to pull for her anyway. But, like, if I have had the decision and I wouldn't rely, like, on having a DPS, I think I'd rather pull for Fushan, because I think that character is so future-proof and is right now the best unit in the game. I think it is very hard to power creep that unit very soon. I don't know. We have to see if what the next abundance, how many or preservation character is doing. But currently, I think it is very hard to power creep this character because she does so much, and she's like so insane. I think she's like really, really super busted. If you like think Jinglu right now is the best DPS, and there's like a lot of hype around this, I think this is natural. Having a damage dealer that is better than the next damage dealer is a natural thing to happen in a gacha game because it's power creep. But I think the power creep of support characters is really stupid because this is not... She doesn't tank better or something. She overtakes different paths. And this is very insane to me. Like, oh my god. I think, like, why does she overtake other paths while originally being a preservation character? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's my top 5 units in the game. Let me know if you agree with that. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord server for more Honkai story content. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.